Hello, everybody. I want to say thank you to Wolf and Mary of let me put this straight because I always do something White Wolf Alchemy. Otherwise, I call White Wolf Academy. Maybe Brother Wolf needs to open academy, but kind of like stirring the pot a little bit in here. Um, I just talked to them so I can have some great interview. We're gonna do some workshop in Spain with them, and you guys to get to know. So you guys know that when we do a workshop, how it goes. But here it's like I want to introduce you to Wolf and Mary. They're twin flame in union, and they've been doing through a lot of work, both of them. And in a little bit, I'm gonna be have them to introduce each other, but take this information from within yourself and apply it to you because we're giving you an experience, and after that, I'm gonna have some few questions into it. So without other ado, I want to represent to you Wolf and Mary. So it's a White Wolf Alchemy. Namaste to you guys. So, hi. So who's gonna introduce each other first? Ladies first, or?
Ladies and children first.
So I introduce myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. I'm Mary.
My beautiful.
I am Ulf Vegard's wife. I am. He's my partner in this life, and
Partner in crime.
yeah.
So beautiful angel energies in there for it. And Wolf, what about you? What are you gonna say about yourself? Well, people already know you, but come on.
Yeah, a lot of people probably have seen me around for the last decade together with you and the Twin Flame OGs out there. We've been doing a lot of videos for a long time. And been in this process of the Twin Flame Alchemy with different soul connections throughout since 2012, which has blown away everything that I thought I knew about the twin flame, everything I was taught about the twin flame, and the whole twin flame community. All of that stuff really just flew out the window, and I experienced, my multidimensional awareness and soul to soul connection. And after like 7 years on this path, I met Mary, and she was basically the only one that could hold my energy.
Yeah. Mel was talking exactly about this, but I found that information, when you and I, we had this, because you're not the only one with the multi-soul connections in here. Welcome to the brotherhood, right? We learn things, we understand the things inside, into there. And lately, I had to go back and listen and watch some of the Mel's videos, where he explained what actually the whole process was happening, and that kind of like put me and Paulina in a very good understanding why this is happening to us. For So, Mary, how did you guys met? What happened in there? How did you guys get through the energy? How did you guys get connected?
Yeah, it's a whirlwind of a story, actually. So I'll try to find shorten it and find the best way that I can articulate it. I was on a totally different trajectory in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I would, yeah.
She was doing the work.
I was doing the work, but I was in just a whole another place, and I would never in a million years imagine that I would be sitting here now. I thought that I had my life planned and set. I was modeling at the time. I was coming out of another relationship, So that was starting to come to a close. And Ulf Vegard found me through mutual friends online. And he just simply wanted to use my photos, some of my modeling photos, as a muse for poetry. And I think just as my former relationship was coming to a close, he entered my field, and although we weren't like talking then, it was just he found my page and he asked to write about me. That was a catalyst, I believe. So suddenly energies in my life just went from I thought I had it all together, everything was, to a total tower moment.
My energy swept it all off the table.
Yeah.
I know how that goes.
Yeah. So my whole life, as I knew it, began to crumble. Mentally and emotionally, I was in a very, I was in a very vulnerable state, kind of realizing the life that I've created for myself, maybe not in alignment with what I thought. The veils were lifted. A lot of Kundalini energy was also, I was experiencing at the same time. So yeah, and then my relationship, had finished, and that came to a close. Everything was so abrupt. With that, everything just total tower moment. Saturn return. Was it my Saturn return? Saturn return.
Good.
And
Yes, like right now. Right now, Saturn is retrograde right now, and that's what this does. And every year, and as an astrologist, I am watching at the retrograde planets. And I told the people the power of the retrograde is to review, resettle, rethink, redo, but also remake. A lot of the people don't understand the last one, the remake part in there, because things are repeating itself until you don't learn. But when you remake, what do? You re-evolve. It's a little secrets within the astrologies in there. So you guys got met, and the energy was so good, and all of a sudden the universe just like, okay, you guys have to meet. You guys met, and how you guys can explain that to the people? You know, the people are more interesting within the twin flame. One of the third energy, the combined energy comes in. How that?
She sent me she sent me a voice recording of some light language and stuff. And I can tell when something is authentic and when something is inauthentic. And I just felt the authenticity in her, and the energy just entered my cells on a cellular level and activated me. And I was like, oh, here we go again.
You like it, don't like it, here we go again, right? And you're like, I cannot do nothing about this one. Let the universe handle it, right? We know how that goes. When the universe sends you someone in order to getting into this through the journey that for it. And I mean, personally, we've been in the same boat with you for a while now, and now it's just everything puts together and all this. Um, but the energy, the third energy, she's kind of like a put the same information on both of you. All of a sudden, it just comes in and just like you try to run away, you can't. You try to run away, you can't. It just comes in.
Still trying to run. No, I stopped trying to run away. I think now
She stopped trying
we're
to
4 years together, but
She stopped trying to run, but she came to Norway and like lived out of her suitcase for 2 years.
Oh, okay. But
She
everything
lived out
else
of her
is.
suitcase for 2 years. She was ready to go at any minute, and she tried, and the universe slammed doors in her face. Boom! Can't go through here. Go back to Ulf.
Meh.
Boom! And then lockdown happened, and then we were literally locked down in an apartment in Turkey. Like we couldn't leave the apartment. We had to. The universe was just like, you guys get your shit together. get your get it together, or that's that's all that is here. That's all
Mhm.
that is for you. You have nothing more to do than to get your shit together.
I don't think we've actually told our story though, Tenny, yet.
No,
Now it's the time to tell that story because that's what I'm here for. You guys can tell your story. So, Mary, what are you going to add it to the story?
I would say that um, when the first connection happened, there was this elated energy for me that perhaps I've experienced in small doses. I was definitely on the path and doing my work. I've always been committed to the work, since as long as I can remember. But I think before we even met in person, it was just this, and I can actually feel it now with the three of us, like we're on another plane. But it was just everything was elevated, and despite my rational mind, everything, my personality thing, there was something inside me pulling him to him, and although I wanted to say no, it was like everything else fell away, and it was like this is the only way. But we could feel everything. Like I could actually feel when Ulf was pleasuring himself, and I'm just saying that because that's actually something that people will experience. I could feel.
She could feel my thoughts, my plans, what I had, my what I wanted to do together with her.
And it was just this irrational pull. But like I knew I had to do it. I knew that we were gonna have children. That
Yeah.
came, and that was crazy for me to think or say, but it was just.
She was like, "I'm gonna give you babies," and I'm like,
It felt like
well, that's a little forthcoming.
Yeah, it was like a divine duty, like it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was talking about it that when a twin flames comes in, there is a one video that I did a long time ago. Because what's happening is when we get inactivated and our DNA is getting activated, we put in and we begin to work with the energies. Now, since this process is established, it's done deal. It's like our bodies, because we are not awakening, we were born with not awakening, but we have the ignitions within us. But since we are awakened and that is implemented into our DNA as we evolve, our kids, they're going to be automatically awakened. Why? Because we did our job for the evolutions, and that's what it's coming. So you knew that's coming. That is good. Brother Wolf was probably a little bit like, wow, about the kids. Um, but it's a very nice you to share because when you feel him, it's like, dude, you can't hide anything from me. So stop trying. And that is what brings this spiritual intelligence within the connections that now you actually doing it right, doing it okay. You guys been in the union for what, 3-4 years or something? 5?
4 years, and married for 2. Yesterday was our 2-year wedding anniversary.
Whoa! Okay, happy anniversary.
My anniversary roses. So yeah.
Okay.
But what that does, what that you can't hide, right? You can't hide what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you want, who you are. And so it forces you into a spiritual maturing process. It forces you to become spiritually accountable. It forces you to, okay, own who you are. And not only own who you are, but own what you're feeling, what you're lying to yourself about. So you're like, well, I can feel that you're lying. I can feel your truth. So, and I love who you are and in your essence. So it's no, you don't need to lie. You don't need to hide. You don't need to put a mask on. Let the mask come off. Be who you are. Be in the truth of who you are. And then the alchemy of the true self begins. And you begin to show your true self to the other. You begin to show your true self to the world. And so
How
it's
beautiful. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
it's truly in service to then not only us, but everyone who's in contact with us, because
Hmm.
they're affected by that as well. Because when you dare to be your true self, when you are authentic, then other people dare to be themselves around you. They start to relax and lower their shoulders and like, okay, I can fart around you. You know, I can pick my nose. You're not gonna judge me. I can be a human today. You say, you know.
That
Oh,
is
okay,
a
okay. I wipe with my right hand.
Yeah, okay. I can get you within that for it. Come on, people, they need some this. But talking about like once you understand your true self, you understand the true self of the partner. And same thing if the partner understands your true self. And there is a little magic in there. That is this is a little unifications within the truth that it's coming in. And a lot of the people don't understand that that personal truth as you are to yourself then becomes the true within the union, within these combined energies. Even though you both have your own personality, but you have this what in the psychology it's called a interdependence. In our twin flame world, it's called bubble zone. In the spirituality, we call it divine union. Okay, but it has its own. It's the same thing, but it has its own evolutions. It has its own evolution stage in there. What could you two can give it a kind of like a uh, to the people? What is it the most important thing that you get personal benefit of taking the mask off to yourself?
You stop giving a fuck about what other people think about you. You have freedom for the first time in your life. You'll experience true freedom, and not the kind of freedom that we talk about. Freedom, the freedom to do something. It's the freedom from a lot of things. Freedom from um, mental bullshit, from persecution, freedom from matrix solution, freedom from, uh, you know, most importantly, the matrix solution. Like, you don't care about, politics, religion. Uh, you don't see borders. You don't see countries. You don't see creed, color, gender necessarily. You see the heart of someone, and you see their inner child because you've done the inner child work. You can see that their inner child is suffering. Their inner child is hurting, and you can add a little bit of extra compassion in that state, and
Hmm.
yeah, and the freedom to be exactly who you are without the fear of judgment, without the fear
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
um, what people may think of you, say about you, all of that stuff, because you're owning the truth of who you are, and the truth of who you are does not need to be defended. It's like a lion. You can just let it snarl and growl and there it is. And nobody's gonna fuck with that.
Exactly.
They can try to mess with it, but it's there. It's not gonna change.
Yeah. What about you, Mary? What will happen when that face mask fell off? How did you feel?
I think uh, I am still learning. So there's certain aspects of myself that I feel are well developed. So I have this, this innate wisdom within me that's guided me, but I still am at times controlled by that inner child. And so I think that for me, it's been about finding the courage to be myself, to accept myself. It's a process every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see all the ways that that inner child and just, I guess now I'm more aware of all the ways that I wasn't being authentic, and how I, even in the goodness, the goodness that I've done in the world, the driving forces behind it were,
I was hearing you in my mind now.
yeah, were to be loved, or from some other place that
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily align with authenticity. So now, as I take that journey out, I hid for a long time. I was afraid of that. It's scary. Sometimes it can be isolating when you're interacting with the real world. It's foreign, and at the same time, it feels cleaner. I feel like my impeccability, my energy, my manifestation, all of that is the gift that comes from doing that,
Yeah.
from understanding your pure energy. So
We come
Yeah.
from
Okay.
two completely different spiritual backgrounds, which should be said here. I come from, the rebellious plant medicine, psychedelic, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rock and roll. That's kind of where I came from, and was turned into this being that I am now. Um, and she comes from a very, very strict spiritual school, like several strict spiritual schools, actually, several strict gurus and traditions and teachers and things. I only got smacked around by Mel for a little while, and
Who has not been?
you
Who
know
has not been? Okay.
and,
But hey, since we
and
met,
was sent to my room to get my shit together, and there I was for half a year, you know, working with him with the inner child, um, and that's kind of the revolutionary stuff about Mel.
mm-hmm.
He had done the work himself for so many years, so he knew exactly what was needed in order to create that transformation for the
Yes.
graduate soul, and then for me to blossom in the truth of who I was. Um, but many of these teachers are not graduate beings, so they're teaching you um, all those hardcore traditions that was needed in order to become a graduate soul, things that we've done for lifetimes, things that we've done lifetime, life after life, in order to get to this place of soul school where we're graduating. And so
What do you think it's missing?
she's
Yeah.
bringing it all back around full circle
Yeah.
for me, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, whoa, yeah, I feel that. I can feel the light that she's adding to the unified field,
Yeah.
and
I can feel that
I
connection
feel
between you
so.
two guys. I can feel that. You guys know, can feel also magnetic energies in there. I know. Do you guys have an age gap?
huge age gap.
Yes.
What is a huge age gap?
Well, it's a huge
14 years.
14 years.
Okay, so it's not that huge. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's huge for normal people, but for the twin flame community, it's probably
The normal
Do you,
people, yeah.
do you and Paulina have an age gap?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you're not allowed to know
It's
or
a
no?
little bit bigger, but you guys,
Okay,
when we meet each other, we can tell you more about it.
okay.
Our story is very similar in a way, but and also our energies, because I see you two energies, and I see me and Paulina's energies. I don't like to compete to compare. No, I'm just finding similarities in there, and I'm just like, man, that's kind of like the same thing. But I was having this. I'm not going to ask you how you overcome the age gap. There is like thousands of videos out there for the people to look how to overcome the age gap. But we know that in the soul, actually, what was it? That was like a day or two. I was we were talking about the age gap, and I felt, oh, there it is. So me
we
and
only
Paulina,
notice it when we put on
we
some
talk about it, and she's like, Dio, what is this? And I'm
stuff.
talking about here, there is an age gap, and here, and I said like, what happens within the, when you're getting into the same energy, then all of a sudden the age gap is like disappearing because there isn't nothing. And the both people knows that is just not like in
We
there.
notice it when we put on some music. She'll be like, "Are you that old?" And I'm like, "No, this was actually my mom's music, but I used to I listen to the older stuff, the older material a lot.
Hmm.
Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and she had a lot of that, Beatles and Creedence and these things growing up with that. So
Oh my God, yeah.
then we're like, you know, but then she'll put on some of that Nicki Minaj or one of these. No, rarely she'll be like, what's Nicki into these days?
We get down, yeah. We get down sometimes.
We got the same. We got some music within us as well. For it. Um, but what do you think it's missing in the people to graduate in the twin flame?
Getting their shit together.
Mary has some things to say. Something she's like.
Owning their shit. Owning their shit. Being spiritual accountable. That's what's missing. Pointing the finger at the other, saying you need to do this and that and that and this and this and that and that and this. Well, it's all here. You need to do you, boo boo.
Yeah, that's what that is this quote, when it points the finger, one finger points to the person, but three fingers points back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that, throughout the experience, that some of the people who missing the graduations, in there, since we're talking about graduations of the twin flames, in there, I found out that the most people are still into this personal attachment and what do they personally need, want from the union, while it is like be the person who is ready for the union. And it's sad, after all those years. But now, since the energies is changing, a lot of the things are changing. The guys from above, they are working at ourselves and so on. I even talked to Marla, I talked to Petya and Andrea before. We've seen that a lot of people coming into this graduation state and there. But I see that a lot of the people they're attaching to the twin flame dynamics for it, but they don't understand the twin flame dynamic. It's a personal journey, and this is one of the concepts that a lot of the people still don't get it in there. What was your experience on a personal journey as far as a little nugget to the people? What would you give them as an advice if they?
There's two twin flame paths available to you right now. There's the twin flame belief system and the authentic twin flame experience. You will produce your twin flame journey from your belief systems. This is important to understand. If you if you believe something so strongly, you will see evidence of it, even if you're wrong. That's how powerful a belief is.
Yep.
That's what happening to the whole twin flame community. This lady called Elizabeth Clare Prophet from
Mama
Senegal
Claire.
House. Yeah,
Mama
she
Claire, yeah.
she she was a highly religious, beautiful fanatic, and she labeled the twin flame experience twin flame from her biblical lens of perception, right? And through that biblical lens of perception, she had Adam and Eve and Jesus and Mary and all of this stuff. The Hindus had the Krishna and Radha and, that
I
whole
know
stuff.
because um, I was in a Universal Church on Triumph. If you have to talk about this, to see exactly, her organizations, the way that it is very beautiful portions is there because that is a transitions between um, the traditional religion that is in there, but also the movement of going into the age of Aquarius, talking about this energy to push, to make it this transitions from religion to spirituality and involvement. Her husband, by the way, he was the one who went into the president, and they are just actually registered in there that the whole Universal Church of Triumph, they are registered as a religion, which is twin flames falling into the actual registrations. So if you say I'm a twin flame, it's like you say I'm a Hindu, I'm a Christian, and I am. So nobody can comes in and be a something like point your finger at you. Just guys, so you know about it. They did those two guys. They did a very incredible work within this. So under that new age category that was registered twin flames, it's coming. So if somebody, it's like, hey, you're going nuts at work, and because you're twin flame, I'll fire it. That's no. This is like you because you're Christians, you're fired. Not gonna work. Okay, and won't take the flights anymore. They did a lot of work on the background. It's just a lot of the people don't understand. And I call her Mama Claire for a reason because she was caring so much after her husband passed away, and she took it off on her own. She was able to carry these missions a little bit more further. But as Mel said there, that she got that, took it off, and so on and so on. Those energies, they comes in and they ignited that in there, and now from those energies that in getting, as he said, there is a lot of waves in there, and I can see astrology wise the waves, there are subways in there, but there is something in particular talking about the people who are born in certain years. They have one thing in there that they are very powerful, and that is when a Jupiter is entering Aquarius. There, that is the growth within those energies, which those are the people that brings that in there. So yeah, but you put that in there. So what about you, Mary? What are you gonna say in there about that? Ouch. Putting you on spot.
Um, can you give me the question one more time?
We were talking about what was gonna be the suggestions about what are you gonna give the people to bolts and nuggets, as in the United States we say there, or something kiss like keep it short and simple, kind of like what are you gonna give advice to the people who want to graduate the union? How to overcome fears or something in there with that?
I would say that just invite them to remember the truth of who they are, and that is just infinite potential
Mm-hmm.
squeezed into this body, go from that higher place, and I acknowledge that at some point the striving and the doing does have to stop, but we are so we're in so much density that we have to be relentless with ourselves, doing the inner child work, doing these things so that we can embody as much energy as possible. So just living and embodying your infinite potential, and just by doing that's templating. So I have a company called Divine Catalyst, and that's what the twin flame is. So we can utilize this union and each other to do that's perhaps the end goal, just to realize and embody your infinite potential.
Exactly.
So
That is what I see of a lot of people. They don't embody their personal potentials. Why? Because they stick it within the three-dimensional, either this energy of I need it because that person can help me to survive, while removing itself from the survival mode to the thriver mode within the spirituality. that is a this moments of the people who actually they still have to do the work in there.
Could I add something, Dio?
Sure, you can add, so feel free. Yes.
I just think that it's so difficult to be honest. That comes with what you and Ulf were talking about, this taking off the mask, and just the simple and subtlest of honesty in the sense that if you say you're going to do something, you follow through with it. And so that will translate when you're doing your affirmations. Everything becomes solid and aligned, and that's where your empowerment is. So what you tell yourself, what you tell others, your follow through, that's where your power is. And I think that that would actually be my nugget. Just follow through and be honest.
That's where you have been my greatest teacher.
Yeah.
Because I lacked that. Growing up without a father and growing up without discipline in my life, I was just always a wild card. And
The wild side.
yeah, so I needed more of that discipline, and she came in with that strict spiritual tradition, the strict spiritual schools that I mentioned, like the boom, 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 and it has really, it's been like an army drill sergeant type of
A lot of Capricorn energy, Dio.
yeah, a lot.
A lot of Capricorn, and he is what? Well, what you are? Oh yeah,
I'm
we're
an
talking.
Aquarius.
You're okay. Yeah, that's what I thought that we talked about this before, but with thousands of people, I can't remember everyone who what it
She
is.
whipped me into shape. She whipped me into shape. When we were in Turkey, I was always a little pudgy around the belly, and I had my first six pack since since I was like 18, 19 years old. I had my first six pack when we got pregnant. Then 2 weeks later, we were snacking because she was pregnant, and
Yeah, we know how that goes. Okay, I won't ask about the beer. I'll skip the questions. Yeah, what you guys was talking about is that you practice what you preach, but there is a reason why the Twin Flames were doing it all this, because we're here to give the example, not just the empty words, not just the empty things in there. And a lot of the people, though, they don't realize that. And here is the thing that your personal realizations with this, and you guys what you said here at that talk that we have now, is very beautiful. That way the people can be reminded about what the heck is all about, about the twin flames. A lot of the people still a little bit of what was the mouse said, La La Land,
yes.
in there, and he was using other terms, kakapupu or whatever. I mean, I laughed my butt off with him about that, but may soul his,
Disneyland.
yeah, may soul his rest in peace right now. But what happened to me is that I wasn't. I didn't have idea about this graduate explanations that he did because I wasn't the person who go out there and watching the other people's what are they posting of videos or so on. I was following the orders from the divine. But when I got connected now with Paulina, I was watching uh, his videos like no tomorrow. They were coming in and popping up with this. He explained actually what the process happened between me and her. He was telling us exactly what this is, the way it is, and there was no sugarcoating. And that, so one last thing, and so that guys can let you go and we can finish this. But from within you, within your divine perspective in there, um, what helped you to cross that pattern of the graduations of that truth that we're talking about, or as I describe it as the gate of the truth, that you take it off and you go to the truth. the gate of truth, and then that's how you graduate because of it. And what is it, the one thing of that truth that empowers you as a personal example within yourself?
Swallowing my pride and always be the first to say, I fucked up. Go find my masculine core and return to my woman in my masculine core, and I will find her in her feminine core.
Nice. Nice. That's what it is when you man up and you own your stuff. Like, you get the guts, not like before, It's like, oh, come on, you always know. Nah, leave me alone. I got, you cover that up a little bit instead of, you've been the man and own your stuff. And
Owning my shit that turns around. Owning my shit.
that's
Then,
what you're
then
practicing
she's
the
ready to
truth.
dance.
That's when you're practicing the
Then we
truth.
keep dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
As soon as I start, stepping on her toes with some lies and some bullshit, she'd be like stiff as a board. And then I have to make sure that I come back to my masculine core and I find my rhythm, I find the beat, and I come back to my woman and she's ready to dance with me again.
Actually, that
That's
dance is very beautiful when I come back, everything together. All of a sudden, that energy, the love is expanding. The bubble zone is expanding. The divine union is expanding at the same time.
we experienced the bubble returning, and then I was like, oh my god, we're having a second bubble experience, and I never experienced that with any of my other connections. Um, and it returned, and I was like, oh my god, does this mean that could we maybe go back there more often? And then all of a sudden, I realized, oh, okay, so when we go unconscious, it's like, then the bubble goes.
And when you
And then
become conscious, you come back in there.
come back to consciousness, come back to lucidity, and into the unified field, and then we're back there again. And then out pops a baby.
Okay. All right, guys. I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for this great energy. Thank you for your heads up. Thank you for the things you guys shared up here, your personal experience. And I'm so glad that you guys are very, very good. You did things, and you've been a personal example to the rest of the world.
Thank you for having us. And
So,
thank you for this experience. We are very much looking forward to giving value. And that's one of the things I want to kind of drop off with here. Like, everyone's wondering, what is the mission? What is this? We need to figure it out. How can we do this? How can we do that? You are your mission. You are the mission. You don't need to do, or you just need to be. Be you. Like you always said, be loved, be loved. Be you. Be the truth of who you are. And everything comes from there. And
mhm,
then bring that value. Because as graduate beings, we all have so much value in all the teachings we've studied and everything that we've learned to master,
mhm.
in having the actual experience and the actual journey, as opposed to so many of these YouTubers that are not having the actual experience. And I'm not going to go too into that.
I'm not
But
trying either. I was like, we were talking about this specific thing. She's like, we're not competing, compare. We are just share.
yeah,
That's all.
but it takes one to know one, and
Yeah.
we
Actually,
can recognize
I
we
have
can feel
a,
that energy.
yeah, I have a little challenge. Maybe you guys can, we can set up a live sessions, maybe down the road, and I can have you live on YouTube, and that way the people can come into the chat and ask some questions, like
That's awesome. I
how
would
we
love
do it
that.
with Paulina. If you guys have something in mind or whatever you guys set you up the situations, but because you have so much things to tell the people. I know we're gonna be doing advanced situations at Malaga in Spain. I'm so happy that we're actually on the same energy boat. I'm just like, oh man, put that fire, baby. We're gonna have some. Hola, buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Let's go to work.
It's gonna
Exactly.
be warm in that house.
Yes,
Gonna be
it's
sweating.
24 degrees Celsius is gonna be an average in October there, so it's gonna be
Air
some.
condition, ice cube, cold water, splish splash.
There is gonna be some yoga by the beach, and there could be meditations by the beach, and reconnect with Mother Nature for the people who need to reconnect with Mother Nature, and so there's gonna be a lot of availabilities. Oh, you feel that energy, doesn't it? I know, I know. Okay, guys. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Wolf. And
Thank you so much.
appreciate everything. And hopefully the people will appreciate your bolts and nuggets for their graduations, for their personal journey. All right, guys. And one more thing. Be love. Be love, guys. Okay?
Love, yeah, I love that.
Bye-bye.